Welcome to the Immerse podcast. We are your hosts, Dan Ramsden and Alex O'Keefe.
Join us and our guests as we dive into real stories of entrepreneurship, health, fitness and self-mastery. No fluff, no filters, just honest conversations that inspire, educate and challenge the norm. Let's get into it.
We're back, Keith.
We're back, buddy. Welcome to the Immerse podcast, everybody.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
I've decided to get off the couch today.
It's good to have you back with us, Dan.
Yeah.
First of all,
Same.
pal. Just me and Keezy on the last one, and you were missed, mate.
I was gutted I missed that one.
You were missed, but you were in a bit of a bad way, weren't you?
I've been talking it up too much, haven't I?
First game back into his rugby,
Oh my God.
revival, and you got in a bit of a pickle, didn't you?
I were in a pickle, mate. I still am, to be fair.
But you know what? Fair play. Step back into the arena, and that's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
But
obviously, just very unfortunate how these things can happen sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a lot of naysayers piping up, let's say.
Yeah.
Told you.
Yeah.
Told you you're too old for this. And yeah. Do you know what though? If you get a blindside shot to your ribs, it doesn't matter who you are, how old you are. It's going to get you. And that's just part of the game sometimes. I took a shot that I wasn't expecting. Hit me in the old rib cage from the back and took my absolute life.
Fucking hell. Well,
couldn't breathe for 5 minutes and took myself to hospital on the Monday because I still couldn't breathe. And then hence why I couldn't make it to the studio. It wasn't safe for me to drive. There were no comfortable position. If anybody's done a rib, they'll know. And I'm still not out of the woods yet. You did yours, didn't you?
It's weird because we've both done his rib at the same time, haven't we? I'm just on back end of it now. But yeah, but the main thing is, mate, you stepped into the arena. You know, you did what you were going to say. Didn't go quite to plan.
Not really.
But that's life.
That's life.
You know, I'm sure you'll get back on, won't you?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Until that lasted. Took a bit of a tasty head clash as well in first sort of 10 minutes.
Got a bit of a shiner as well, didn't you?
Yeah, split my eye, went off, got patched up, went back on, carried on. I were enjoying it. But then, just got absolutely wiped out towards the end of the game and that was me done. That's all she wrote.
Christ. Well, regardless, it's good to have you back with us, mate.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be back.
We're on another episode of The Books That Change Us this week. And this week, we are dismantling The Secret by Rhonda Byrne.
Yeah. Follows on nicely from the last one that we did, doesn't it, really?
Yeah. This one seems to be quite a popular transformational book for a lot of people. And it's actually come up with quite a lot of controversy as well over the years, you know, when people have looked back at it. It was an important one for me. Really was. In my sort of journey into this realm of discovering some sort of inner power. It was the first book that I ever read that enabled me to realise that actually your thoughts are a lot to do with your reality and your future.
Yeah.
And that book opened the door for me to realise that. So, you know, there is controversy in the book. You know, people think it's a magical spell that you cast on things. But I guess it depends on how you choose to view it.
Everything comes down to perception, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it is, yeah.
But I think often they talk about thoughts become things. That's the main theme.
Yeah.
And it really is true. Whatever you're thinking about the most, eventually it's going to yield its way into your reality. Because you're urging that to happen and you're gravitating towards whatever that is. So, yeah, as long as, like, for example, if it's something from a business perspective or an achievement perspective, you've got to put the work in. You can't just think about it and it's just going to magic itself to you.
Yeah.
You've got to really put the work in. But when you think about the outcome and then you start thinking about the process and you start really delving into that, that's when things can happen. So,
of course, it's like, I think where people have misinterpreted it is like, the message is like, law of attraction. That's what it's about. You think about the things that you want to attract into your life. I think where people have got misguided with it is where they're thinking that I'm just going to think of this thing and it's going to magically appear without anything else. I think what the book actually talks about is, it starts in the mind with a thought, with attraction, but then you've actually got to step in and take action. That then becomes a behaviour that's changed, which then eventually ends up being the outcome or the wish or whatever it is. So there's stages to it. It's not all just like fairy thinking in your mind. But that's where it starts.
Yeah. How's it helped change you? Have you got an example of something that you've experienced where you thought, this shit actually really works?
I'll share the story, right, of how I was introduced to this book, because it's quite an interesting one. So those that don't know, when I ended up in the music industry, DJing, essentially full time, and we kind of ended up signing to a label for these two lads from Manchester who, Salado, people might know who they are. They've gone like worldwide success now, and they were just coming up at the time, and we were signed to their label, myself and Gaz, and we went to meet them in Manchester at a place called Kettlebell Kitchen. I remember this so vividly, Dan. So I went to meet these guys, James and Mark, to talk about us releasing music on their label and some shows that we were going to play at. And we're all sat on the table having a meal, having a chat. And I recognised that James, one of the guys, he had this book in front of him. Just like, he had this little bookmark in there. And I didn't really have him down as a reader. He was like a larger than life sort of big personality. He was the front man, you know what I mean? He was like let's call him the Liam Gallagher style. Wild guy.
Right.
Good character, James.
How far back we're going here? What year?
Flipping it. It must have been about 2016, 2017.
Right. Okay.
And I asked him what it was, and he was like, "This'll change your life, mate." Like, as if he were trying to sell it to me. But he'd obviously been reading this book, and there was so much success happening in their world. And that's when I started to put it, like, two and two together. It's like, these guys are smashing it. He's reading this book. Let me have a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I actually watched the DVD first.
Yeah, I've watched that. Yeah.
So I took in the message through that. But I remember actually really, like, vividly, I was still at home at the time, I think. And I was sat in Bath at home at my mum and dad's house. I was listening to this, like, audio book playing of The Secret, and they were talking about, like, attracting success and having control over your thoughts and feelings. And that was the first sort of time I really started to understand, you can have a bit of a control over these things. Over your thoughts and what you can attract and what could actually become real. That was the first real moment for me where I felt some empowerment from reading a book or listening to this type of stuff. So for me, it's a very, very important book for me. It started off my sort of journey of unpacking a lot of beliefs and understanding you can have a real good say of what happens.
Yeah, you can create your life, and life doesn't just happen to you. You're just not just bobbing around in existence. It's like, no, actually there's a there's a bit of almost a playbook on, how do you get to your outcome? How do you get to your destination? And then sort of reverse engineering it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it flows perfectly into what we were talking about last week, the coach of Conor McGregor. And if you look at the success and what he had, he's definitely read this book, 100%.
Yeah,
manifesting. That's a big one. Manifesting is just basically simply just thinking about something on repeat until it's yours. We spoke about it as well when we did a goal setting podcast when we were sat in the barrel sauna. Remember, and we were speaking about Jim Carrey writing his goal down. A check for $100 million.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah,
or 10 million, whatever it was.
No, 10. That were it.
Yeah.
And he wrote down the check payable to himself for acting services, and he folded it up and put it in his wallet.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it happened at some point.
Yeah, exactly. So
the thing is, there's a little devil's advocate in there, and it's like, be careful what you wish for. Sometimes, as well.
Yeah.
How could this goal affect your life in different ways? And will it help to serve every area of your life?
Yeah.
Your family and your friendships and everything else. So I think you've got to be careful about what your goals and what you're thinking about a lot.
Coming back to what was Jim Carrey's quote?
I hope everybody receives all their hopes and dreams to realise that it's not the answer.
Oh.
Have some of that.
But it's also, it might not be the answer, but it's a very valuable process to go through, to know that it's not the answer.
There's another one, and it's everything that we need right under our nose. And I saw something recently about the astronauts. Did you see that speech that the astronaut gave?
No.
Oh, man, it's so powerful.
Sorry to interrupt this amazing conversation. We've just got a quick message for you. At the heart of this podcast, Dan, is human connection.
It sure is.
And now, it's amazing for us to say that we also build fully bespoke saunas from design, build and install that also promote the exact same thing, mate, human connection. There's a theme here.
There is. And all built to last, like we just keep saying. We wanted to provide products that last a lifetime, not just for a matter of months. Yeah. That's exactly our ethos and our message. So we wanted the products to match that, and they are the highest quality, the highest form of timber, the best quality heaters, and tempered glass to suit.
Wow. We've not spared expense there, mate. If you're thinking of upgrading your space, whether it's your home, business, studio, wherever you can fit a sauna, basically, we can build it for you. So visit us website on immersesaunas.co.uk and we'll take it from there. We look forward to building your dream sauna shortly.
Oh yeah. So it was such a powerful thing that I saw. Basically they were talking about how impactful their experience was coming away from the globe. So they're in nothingness up there, and they were just saying how blessed we are to have this perfect environment to live in that we call home, this planet that we should be sharing nicely. And world events don't seem to be happening that way at the moment, and it's like, isn't it mad really? Like we've got this, it's infinity is this existence of the universe, and we've got this perfect environment set up to live on, and we're making a right arse of it.
I think everyone could probably benefit from a trip to space. Up there,
they're longing. They're longing to come back down and to appreciate the little things.
Yes, mate, that's so true. And before we got cut off, I mentioned a Disney film, because this leads on to what you're saying. Disney film called Soul, right? And this jazz artist called Joe, he has a bit of a freak accident, and and sort of dies temporarily, and his soul goes off to this different place, and it's kind of his whole idea of what life is changes because he's taken away and he's forced to think about what truly is life. And his memories go back to really simple things like the little helicopter leaves spinning from the trees, landing in his hand. He's having a bite of pizza, and that sensation what you feel when you're like, whoa, you know, and just talking to being with his family and his friends. And I think it's just that having that big change of perspective and really thinking about what truly matters. And there's a short little clip at the end where there's two young fish in the ocean swimming up to this big fish, this big wise old fish, and they're saying, "We've heard about this thing, it's called the ocean. It's meant to be amazing, you know, you're free, you can do what you want, it's beautiful." And then I think the wise old fish just says something along the lines of, "Open your eyes, you're already here." And it's just like, yeah, just like here, like fucking planet Earth, innit? We're already here. Let's enjoy it.
That's it. So
You know?
it's one of them where having goals, hopes, dreams, manifesting things, like I think you've got to be careful what those things are and ultimately not let it impact the here and now too much.
Yes.
You know, whatever that is, you know, like the destination happiness sort of mindset of, you know, my life's going to be better when we get here. That's dangerous, isn't it?
And you mentioned Tyson Fury, didn't you?
Yeah, someone said to him in an interview, "What are your plans when you get heavyweight champion?" And he says, "I'll probably go into depression," and he did, because that were his whole thing.
Yeah,
that were his life, and that's what I mean. We've learned recently about, you know, he's got certain conditions as well. You know, I'd love to speak to him on this show.
We're going to get him on. We're going to get Tyson Fury on the podcast. Let's
manifest that right now.
We're going to manifest this. Everyone that's listening, manifest it with us. There's probably a case for the law of attraction working against you as well. Just to play devil's advocate on that, he's already said that he's going to get depression when he retires, and lo and behold, he did.
Yeah. So I've had a conversation with one of my clients this morning about your mindset and about, you know, how powerful it is when you're approaching something, literally having that conversation. And I said, you know, you got to be careful when you're approaching something, the risk and reward of lifting I was talking about, you know, attempting something that you've not tried before in the gym.
Yeah.
You know, when you're trying to break plateaus and level up a little bit more. And as explained once, that I got stuck under the squat bar with a fair weight on, and I'd done quite a lot of sets.
Yeah.
And I said, just as I were approaching the bar and I'm just about putting my head through to get the bar on my back, I'm thinking, I'm not sure about this set. And then guess what?
It wasn't sure about you.
I got stuck under the bar and it could have been bad, and luckily I escaped it. But those moments when you've got a fair weight to shift and stuff, it's whatever's going on in your head, you got to be careful about it. You got to be 100% sure.
Yeah.
You got to be really sure.
That's powerful.
It all is powerful, positively and negatively. So you got to be almost a little bit deluded in your thinking sometimes.
Yeah, if there's no evidence there.
Yeah. There's another fighter. I really resonate with fighters with stuff like this because they're so confident. They're so like sure of themselves because you have to be.
Yeah.
There's no point stepping into that arena if you're not going to be. You're on your own, representing yourself. No one's saving you. Have you heard of Ilya Taporia?
I haven't, mate. No.
So
what's that, MMA or UFC?
I think he's welterweight.
Yeah.
UFC champion.
All right. Okay.
And he's knocking people out.
Right.
Like everybody. People that have never been knocked out.
Right.
In their career. Volkanovski, Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira, they don't get knocked out, and he is.
Right.
And he does something where he puts in a ridiculous amount of preparation into the task, and then he celebrates the win before the fight with his team.
Shit.
So he takes them out and they all have a celebration.
Wow.
Because of what he's about to receive.
Wow, that's like visualization on a different level, isn't it?
And he knows that because he's left no stone unturned, and he's just affirming what the outcome is going to be.
Whoa!
And he's like,
"That's giving me slight tingles."
I'm going to win by knockout. Like, thank you guys. Let's celebrate. Let's enjoy this meal.
Shit.
Wow. And he's doing it as well, which is it's insane mindset.
Should we go and book a meal to celebrate us having Tyson Fury on the podcast?
Let's do that. Tyson, come on. Let's sit and have a chat about this stuff.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's power, that, mate. Wow, very interesting.
Also, another story. So one of my friends, Elliot, he really wanted to try this method. So it's the visualization, writing things down, affirming it, constantly thinking about it, and then it happening. So he had this thing where he knew that he wanted to enter this competition to win a Rolex. Right. So he then, he wrote it down. He put the amount, what it was, and he wrote down at the start of it, "Congratulations, Elliot." Then every day for about a week, when he were going to bed, "Congratulations, Elliot, you are the winner." And he said it every night before he were going to sleep. He's entered this competition, he's won the Rolex. And he's like, I tried it, I tested it, it worked. it worked for him in that moment. It's proper goosebumps type stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think that's...
And the email that he received was, "Congratulations, Elliot."
That's wild. I think that's leaning into more the controversial side of it.
Yeah.
Like sort of wishing without much control at all. But fair play, it still happens, doesn't it?
That's mad though, isn't it?
I think we'll move on, mate, and just talk about some of the sort of the key areas of the book. We're going to keep it a little bit shorter this time. But so the core idea is what we've already spoke about. It's the law of attraction. What you focus on expands, but that can sound a bit out there at first. Whether or not it's magic, your focus absolutely shapes your reality. And then the three sort of stages we spoke about is attention, so the thoughts in the mind, leads to the behaviour, actual physical things happening, and then lo and behold, ending up with the outcome. And these are all the things that, when I were laid in the bath, listening to it for the first time, I was just like, it were resonating massively. So it was just like, yeah. What's your thoughts on that sort of area, Dan? The law of attraction.
Yeah, I mean, it's just putting into a playbook, isn't it, of what do you want? Be specific. It's like setting goals almost, but you're being very, very specific, and it's like you start, the manifestation is, what do I need to do in order to get this outcome?
Yeah.
So it's just giving you direction, clarity, I'm guessing, and yeah, I'm testing it out for myself, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm putting irons in the fire, as we were saying.
Yeah.
And we had a goal with this business. It's slightly deviated and it's changed a little bit, but we're still on course for that to happen.
Yeah.
I don't need to say too much about that, but it's saying things, it's writing it down, and it's working, and then acting as if you're already there.
Yeah.
Almost.
Well, what did we write down? Did we write down one bespoke build every quarter for the year? Which would work out at 4 builds in the year. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
We're already there between us. Between us and the listeners. So it's just like, yeah, it's getting the energy of the thoughts onto, let's say, paper, then taking action and then seeing the outcome. It's a very powerful process, and it works.
Yeah.
We've done it quite a few times now, haven't we?
Yeah. So it's one of them where it's like, all right, great, let's continue to roll the dice. But always, I'd say, just being mindful of the present moment. You've got to sacrifice something. If you want bigger things to achieve, I talk about it all the time with the young athletes that I train. You've got to sacrifice your time with your friends, or skipping late nights and going out and partying and stuff like that. That is the sacrifice. But you've got to do that. You just got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it always comes down to what do you actually want, doesn't it? And you hear so many stories of he could have made it or she could have made it, but they ended up going out and partying and getting introduced to all the
that were me.
Tastier things in life. That were me. Absolutely, it was. People go either way. We talk about him a lot on this podcast, but my good pal Luke Ambler, he was the one that sacrificed all that growing up as a lad. He wasn't going out and boozing. He were training hard, and he ended up making it as a pro rugby player because of all these early sacrifices. And that is the same with most people that make it. You hear that type of story, don't you?
Yeah.
So,
obviously that being the core concepts, the law of attraction, but then there's the thoughts become things. Everything will begin in the mind.
Yeah.
And then repeated thoughts turn into beliefs.
Yeah.
And then your beliefs influence your actions, and then starts to yield the results that are going to happen. And that, again, can be positive or negative.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's think good stuff and talk good stuff. I'm one of those now where I really try to withhold myself from speaking negatively as much as I can. Like if, I don't know, we go on a run and I start struggling early doors with whatever, I'm not going to tell you I'm struggling.
Yeah.
I can't put that out into the existence. It's only going to make it 10 times worse.
Yeah. Do you know what? Myself and my pal Dane, we went and ran the Yorkshire Three Peaks.
Last
week.
feat is that, mate?
Not in a quick time, because people have done it in really quick times, but we're not trained for it at all, really. And we both had the silent agreement of not expressing any negative language. And I noticed I clocked it throughout the whole fucking 7.5 hours that we were doing it. There were not one time that me or Dane said anything negative. And then we sat down in pub afterwards having us steak and ale pie after this massive sort of achievement. And we both kind of said, fucking hell, that was tough, mate, wasn't it? Struggling from almost like only half an hour in. And then Dane were like, yeah, but I didn't want to say out. I'm like, thank you, mate, because I didn't either. Because it just makes it that much. It makes it real, doesn't it?
Are you going to stop?
Yeah.
If one starts saying it and then other one's like, yeah, I'm feeling that too. Oh, shall we swerve it then?
Yeah.
Or you know, at some point you're going to really impact that experience. So if you're there, you're there. Strap in. We're going. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
And don't put out negative out, because then that's it. Then it just
becomes reality.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's a really important one, that. And not just in a sporting realm, but like in anything really, even if you just day to day and you start saying, I'm feeling a bit poorly, I feel really tired. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I am as well. Now you've mentioned it.
Yeah, now you've mentioned it. Let me jump on that with you.
Yeah. So you got to be careful, haven't you? How you thinking, and then what you're putting out there. I would say. So
that was good. That awareness of thoughts. That was one of the lessons, really. So that's what we're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah.
awareness of thoughts, and internal and external.
Sorry to interrupt you there, guys. We've got a massive announcement, Dan. We've managed to partner with Pure Sport, which is one of the most exciting brands at the minute in the UK, my friend.
That's it, built to last, in it for the long run, as the hashtag says. All the similar sorts of messages behind the ethos of the brand, and it really fits in alignment with us. We know that they're athlete tested.
Even Lucy Bronze is using their products. She's a friend of the show.
The magnesium and the ashwagandha and all those other products that are related to recovery are super useful for me right now. I'm really feeling the benefit. The electrolytes is definitely the best I've tasted.
They're the best I've tasted as well, without sounding biased, my friend. But yeah, it just lines up with everything that we preach, mate. No shortcuts, just solid daily habits that actually make you feel better.
If you want to try these guys, use the Immerse 10 for 10% off at the checkout.
Now back to the episode. Sorry for interrupting you there. Crack on.
Let's go.
Language.
I saw something at the weekend and I was like, I can't actually believe what I've just witnessed here. Again, combat related. I'm watching an MMA fight. It were a championship fight for light heavyweight title. The contender, so that the person who's trying to take the belt, his knee goes early on.
I've seen it.
Did you see it?
I've seen it, yeah.
Oh my God. What just happened there?
Yeah.
So his knee's gone. So his opponent identifies that his back leg has gone. So he starts peppering his front leg, kicking the hell out of it. So then he's practically got no legs to operate on. And you can tell he's in a lot of pain. And you're like, there's only one way that this fight's going now, and that's it. He ends up turning tables and knocking him out because he still had his hands left. And it's like, how do you have that belief to continue in those situations?
That's the ultimate mindset. That
unbelievable.
I was watching. I think it was Paddy Pimblett have a bit of a reaction video to it, and so what the fuck? How's he done that?
How's he done that, lad? Yeah, fair play. So you know, your mindset's got to be absolutely bulletproof.
Very, very right, mate.
Yeah.
There's a little line here. If your thoughts are always worst case, you end up living like that outcome is already real. And that's what we're just talking about there, really, isn't it? Thoughts, even just the thoughts, not the actually speaking it. If you're constantly thinking that is your reality.
Yeah.
So another little section, mate, is and we've spoke about these sort of quite broadly, but lesson 2, vision and imagination. The power of seeing something before it even exists. You know, it ties into everything that we've done, really. You know, having the initial vision and where this can go. It's not real yet, but it is in our mind. You've got to have a bit of delusion in there. I think that's where people might struggle if they're just out and out sort of logical thinkers. You know, not everyone can see visions that don't exist.
A lot of people need some sort of evidence.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get that. But great things can't happen like that. Sometimes what if it's something that's never been done before?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, how do you make that happen then? You know, these people that are doing things that are like, wow.
Yeah. But
it's got to come from some sort of belief, some sort of mindset.
Yeah.
It's got to do.
Yeah. Were it Sir Roger Bannister who ran the 4-minute mile?
Yeah.
You know, where did he have the audacity to think that no one else has ever ran a 4-minute mile before? And even scientists said that it wasn't possible. But this man had in his mind that he was going to go do that. He didn't have any evidence to prove that he could do that. And he went and did it. Lo and behold, what followed after that, multiple people then saw the evidence and had that goal themselves and went and achieved it.
Yeah, there's something really powerful about having that stake in the ground and that target to hit. The records are there to be broken, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, because it's been proven that it's already been done.
Exactly, mate. Love it. I'm loving this. Another little section of the book belief drives behaviour. So the biggest difference isn't what you attract, it's what you're willing to do, which is a nice little reframe, isn't it?
Mm. Well, quitting isn't an option is what I'm taking from that.
Yeah. It's again, it comes back to why this might be a bit controversial. Some people sometimes just stay stuck in the vision sort of attraction stage and never move on from there. I've heard people, even people that are quite close to me, saying that, you know, I'm just wishing this would happen. I'm manifesting it, but I know that they're not doing anything about it, like in terms of taking action. Like, that's the most fucking important part. Don't just let it be a thought. Move towards it.
Yeah.
Change behaviour and believe. Anything else on that one, Dan?
No, I think we've covered.
We've spoke about it all in what we've said already, but these are just like the points of the book that's just good to share with people. Like I say, we don't give too much away, do we? We want people to read it.
We do. And you use it. Try it.
Use it. Yeah, absolutely. I'd recommend. Obviously, we recommend getting this book, but if you're not a big reader, as in physical reader, you saw it on DVD.
Yeah.
I've watched it on YouTube. There's a full audio breakdown of it on YouTube, and also just on Audible. Just listen to it. Take it in however you can, really. Is there anything else, Dan, you want to cover on this? Because I think we've covered quite a bit of it.
Yeah, there's the power of the visualization part. It's like thinking over and over and over again of how you want it to go down. You know, if you're going to, I don't know, do a job interview and you're just constantly rehearsing them shaking your hand after and saying, congratulations, you've got the job. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or, you know, whatever it is of the outcome that you want. You know, just drill it and just, you know, this is going to happen. But actually, like, fully believing it, really believing it, and then acting as if, like, you've already got that.
Yeah. Do you remember when we had Lee Barnes on the film?
Yeah.
The film writer.
Yeah.
And he spoke about
clearly
his way of visualization was
the bastard.
Yeah. So he's imagining himself sat there at the BAFTAs. He's not imagining himself like doing the speech. He's imagining like sensory things. So he's imagining the smell of the woman's hair that's in front of him, or touching the fabric on the seat. And I thought, ooh, that's a different level, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's good. It's just a good thought process to even try that. So think about something that you want and put yourself there and smell what it smells like, feel what it feels like. It's powerful, that, isn't it?
Big time.
It's very
He gave me goosebumps when he told me that.
Yeah, because he's a proper storyteller as well. He was selling it to us, wasn't he?
Oh, big time, yeah.
So I think, mate, we'll stop that one there.
I think so too.
I think we've covered a lot of the book and kind of explained how it's been really impactful.
Yeah.
For us both. You know, me especially, it were the first one that opened me up to this world of inner power, really, shall we call it? So yeah, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. Go get it, guys. Please.
Read it, try it, implement it.
Take action, though. Don't just let it be a thought.
See if it works.
We'll be back next week with a guest.
We will.
And thank you for listening, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one.
And on that note, I'm going to put it out there. We will have Tyson Fury on this podcast at some point talking about these sorts of things.
There we go.
There you go.
And we'll go out for a meal to celebrate it before it happens.
That's it. There we go.
Cheers, brother. Hope you enjoyed, guys. Give us a follow. Immerse, the Immerse podcast, Spotify, YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Immerse the Brand. Right.
Thank you for
We've got
listening.
some
Hope that helps.
We've got some big stuff happening too, mate. Can't really talk about it yet.
We don't need to talk about it too soon, do we? But yeah, again,
Got some great updates coming soon.
Law of attraction and all.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Interesting.
All right. See you guys. Peace and love. Bosh.